Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Konrad Gorlinski. The European Union is demanding Belarus to release Roman Protasevich, saying the country should respect the elementary rules of international coexistence. The EU is increasing pressure on Minsk, while, on the other hand, securing €3 billion for a democratic transition of the country. Portugal organized an informal EU foreign ministers summit to discuss the most urgent questions. Belarus, who hijacked an airliner commuting between two EU and NATO capitals, was high on the agenda. The hijacking of the plane and the detention of the two passengers is completely unacceptable, and we will start discussing implementation of sectorial and economic sanctions. EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell told reporters before the informal meeting in Lisbon. Luxembourg's Foreign Minister Jean Asselborn said potash should be central to any new sanctions meant to pressure Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, who the opposition and the West say rigged the presidential elections last August. The key word, I think, is potash. We know that Belarus produces very much potash. It is one of the biggest suppliers globally, and I think it would hurt Lukashenko very much if we managed something in this area, said Asselborn. Germany's Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said, "We aim to target the economic structure and financial transactions in Belarus significantly." Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gabrielius Landsbergis said the EU should consider hitting the oil sector with sanctions. The ministers discussed the measures the European Council agreed on this Monday with regard to the EU's response to the forced landing of a Ryanair aircraft in Minsk. The diplomats stressed that the leaders' decision on further sanctions against Belarus must be implemented as soon as possible, including targeted economic sanctions that Brussels has already started to work on. At the same time, the European Commission reiterated its assurance that the economic plan for a democratic Belarus will be published in the next few days. The Polish army commemorated over 27,000 soldiers and officers who took part in foreign missions. 817 of them experienced combat injuries and over 50 died serving their country. On this occasion, President Andrzej Duda visited soldiers from the 16th Airborne Battalion in Krakow. We met today to remember veterans who served outside the Polish state. For over 60 years, Polish soldiers and officers have been participating in peacekeeping missions around the world. They have already been on 90 missions. I must stress, they have gone very far to serve their motherland.
Polscy żołnierze i funkcjonariusze uczestniczą w misjach poza granicami kraju od ponad 60 lat.
And the Ministry of Health has informed that over 55,000 tests performed yesterday, only 946 proved positive. This is the first time since last September that the number of new infections has fallen below 1,000. Unfortunately, however, 117 people have died. So far, more than 2,870,000 people have contracted the coronavirus, while 73,500 people have died. More than 19 million coronavirus injections have already been performed in Poland. 13,300,000 people received their first dose, and 5,872,000 people got the second and final dose. The daily vaccination rate has reached 373,000. From midnight tonight, life returns to restaurants, swimming pools, fitness clubs, casinos, and even gyms. However, managers of these premises must observe required sanitary regimes, such as proper social distancing between guests. And Germany apologized for its role in the slaughter of Herero and Nama tribes people in Namibia more than a century ago, and officially described the massacre as a genocide for the first time, as it agreed to fund projects worth over €1 billion. Namibia's President Hage Geingob welcomed the historic move, but Herero Supreme Chief Vikui Rukoro dismissed the deal agreed by the two governments as an insult because it did not include payment of reparations. Instead, Germany will fund 1.1 billion euros or $1.3 billion of reconstruction and development projects in Namibia, which German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said would directly benefit the genocide-affected communities. German soldiers killed some 65,000 Herero and 10,000 Nama people in a 1904 to 1908 campaign after a revolt against land seizures by colonists in what historians and the United Nations have long called the first genocide of the 20th century. While Germany has previously acknowledged moral responsibility for the killings, it has avoided making an official apology for the massacres to avoid compensation claims. The news came as Poland is counting the losses inflicted by a bloody German occupation between 1939 and 1945. Nazi German military and uniformed services caused 6 million deaths and incredible losses of property. Polish researchers assume that the compensation due is in the range of 1,000 billion euro. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Have a wonderful night and a great weekend ahead.